Great.
Hi, my
Okay.
name is Jody Maloney, and I am the coordinator for Mason College Access Network. And today we are welcoming Mike Eichberger from Grand Valley State University, and he's going to share about the great offerings for the class of 2021 that Grand Valley has to offer. So, Mike, I'm going to hand it over to you. I can't wait to see what Grand Valley's got going on.
Well, thank you, Jody. Thank you for your time today. Again, my name is Mike Eichberger. I'm one of the admissions counselors at Grand Valley. I've had the privilege of working in the admissions office at Grand Valley for the last 18 years. This is my 19th year, and man, it goes fast, that's for sure. But what I hope to do is just kind of give you an overview of what Grand Valley has to offer, and then certainly at any point, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions or incorporate some of those into the presentation too. Grand Valley is a medium-sized institution. We have a total enrollment of just over 23,000 students. But even though we have that many students, we still maintain small class sizes. Our overall average class size is 26. And then all of our classes are taught by professors, not teaching assistants or graduate assistants. So you can always expect to have a professor in front of the classroom teaching. That also extends to office hours. So faculty are very accessible, very approachable. You can meet with them one-on-one outside of class. We know, although we encourage students to ask questions in a classroom setting, I know faculty definitely want to see students take that initiative and ask questions. Not everybody will take advantage of that. So office hours are a nice alternative where you can meet one-on-one with a professor and ask those critical questions that you may have. I think students are comfortable doing that too. The real advantage behind meeting with professors would be a few reasons. One, professors have a wide network and they just know a lot of professional people in the fields, and so it's nice to have that connection. They're very willing to connect their students to some of those professionals. Maybe it's through an internship or a career opportunity after graduation. Faculty are excellent at writing letters of recommendation and being references. They can really help students kind of navigate that whole college experience. Another reason would be maybe to partner with faculty on research opportunities. Undergraduate research is huge. It can be a game changer. It can be the difference of setting you apart from others that are applying with the same degrees, but for those limited professional school options or positions or graduate school admissions or even employment after graduation. But undergraduate research is a great way to really showcase that you're interested in those particular fields because you're doing it outside of class. You're doing it on your own time, or you might be partnering with faculty and doing it. So we offer an Office of Undergraduate Research and Scholarship that will connect students to faculty around the campus community that might be doing research or help students get started on their own. So lots of real good value in connecting with professors. Grand Valley is founded on this principle of a liberal education, and what I mean by that really has no connection to the political sense of the term. What it is it's providing students with a well-rounded education. We want our students to be knowledgeable in their field of study, but we also want you to gain a foundational understanding of multiple disciplines, and you do that through this general education curriculum. And through the courses within the curriculum, you really enhance your critical writing skills, critical thinking skills, communication skills, problem solving skills, all the skills necessary to be successful no matter what career you go into. And they're very transferable skills. They're skills that will go from major to major, career to career. And that's really important because we're not in it just to prepare you for that first career. We want to prepare you for life and all that comes along with that, changes, career changes. And so these soft skills that you develop over time in the general education curriculum really do carry with you some value into your professional life and personal life too. But the courses, go hand in hand with what employers are looking for. They're looking for folks that are going to be able to work in teams and groups, but also work independently, solve problems creatively, be able to communicate well with one another. And so these courses are really designed to enhance those soft skills. The other value is for those that may be undecided. It really can give you a taste of what we do offer, because many of our general education courses are introductory courses for different majors that we offer. So just by virtue of completing your general education requirements, you have an opportunity to be exposed to the different majors that we offer. And for some who have a major in mind, it may reaffirm their interest, or it may even direct them into a new area. And all is very valuable no matter what. And so we really encourage students along with those general education courses. So there is a rather large emphasis placed on these courses as part of your overall curriculum. But then we also offer 95 undergraduate majors, well over 300 areas of study, and 43 graduate programs. So there's a quite a long list of programs that we do offer. And then Grand Valley is organized into these 8 academic colleges. And within each college, you will find all of these programs listed. Now, the other thing to note is that each college has its own academic advising center. So these are professional advisors. They do not teach courses. Their responsibility at Grand Valley is to connect and assist their advisees. So they're working with their advisees throughout their 4 years. It could be working on registration, could be working on a 4-year plan, could be supporting them in their applications to graduate schools or professional schools, could be helping them find internships. There's just so much value to reaching out and meeting with academic advisors. Similar to working with faculty and connecting with them, we encourage students really on an annual basis to reach out to your advisor. So every student from day one, when they arrive at Grand Valley, would have an advisor, a professional advisor assigned to them. Even our undecided students, again, that's our most popular major for freshmen. Even our undecided students have an advisor assigned to them through the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. There's a group of advisors within that college advising center that their expertise is really working with students that just aren't quite sure what they want to do. So they connect them with the resources that we have here on campus through our career center, or they can help them with some career counseling and guidance. They can look at some interest exams. They can look at what students and discuss what students are already taking as part of their general education curriculum and see if there's any interest that has already starting to happen. And then connecting them to those majors so that when a student is officially ready to declare that major, they can hand them off to their colleagues from that respective department, that respective advising center, and then that student can work with that new advisor the rest of their time at Grand Valley. So faculty and advisors both really integral to the success of our students, and that's really where their passion is to support our students' efforts and enabling them to be successful while they're here. Allendale is our main campus. This is really the heart of Grand Valley. Students will typically start here, and many will finish their degree here, but we do offer some in Grand Rapids too. Allendale is 12 miles west of Grand Rapids and about 20 minutes east of Lake Michigan. So it really puts us in the centrally located between the second largest city in the state and the lakeshore. And so we really do rely on Grand Rapids for our students to gain some valuable practical experiences. In fact, we like to call it experiential learning. So experiential learning would include internships, co-ops, clinical rotations, student teaching, fieldwork experiences, all the necessary practical experiences that kind of go hand in hand with what you're learning in the classroom. So it's really vital to their experiences overall. And so it makes perfect sense that we offer certain programs in Grand Rapids. So we're very intentional. Within the Robert CPU campus, we offer business, public and nonprofit administration, social work, criminal justice, engineering, and education. And then on our health campus, we offer both health professions and nursing. So again, when you look at the common themes of these programs, you'll see it resonates with those experiential learning opportunities. And then with the health campus, we are actually in the process of expanding that campus. We opened a second health building in May of 2018. And just as that opened, we broke ground for our third health building, and that will be successfully opening in May of 2021. So classes certainly will start there by the fall, if not even in the summertime of next year. So it's really exciting time right now at Grand Valley. That second building had a $40 million price tag. The third building has a $70 million price tag. So lots of money, support, and effort has been put into providing our health campus and our students that attend there with all the best technology, the best classroom space, the best laboratory space, and the best simulation space possible, so that they're fully ready to go into the real world of healthcare. And then the location of the health campus is very convenient because it's on the Medical Mile, downtown Grand Rapids. So we are very close proximity to Spectrum Health, which is the major hospital in Grand Rapids. But then you also have the Cancer Center, the Heart Center, the Women's Health Center. We have there's the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Michigan State even has a medical school campus, and then the Van Andel Research Institute. So all healthcare related, all within close proximity, 1-2 blocks away from our health campus downtown. So very exciting time in the health professions at Grand Valley. Let me switch gears just slightly and talk about our incoming freshmen. So if you were to look at the freshman class right now, the middle 50% that we admitted this past year had between a 3.4 and a 3.9 GPA, and between a 1050 and a 1230 SAT, 21 to a 27 ACT. So that's the middle 50%. 25% are above all of that. 25% fell below all of that. So in other words, a 3.4 and a 1050 is not the minimum requirement to get into Grand Valley. It's just trying to give you more of a range of what to expect. As we make admissions decisions, we're looking at multiple factors. First and foremost, come down to the academic factors. So we look at your classes in high school, your individual grades, your overall cumulative grade point average. We look at grade trend. We look at what you submit as part of your application. There are 2 short answer questions on the application that we do encourage students to complete. It's a way for us to learn a little bit more about you. There are no minimum number of words, so they're not treated as though they are essays or anything like that. It's really just meant for students to share a little more about themselves, maybe what they would like to bring to the Laker community as an incoming freshman the next year. Normally, we also look at test scores, but for the class of 2021 seniors, we are test optional. So when students apply, we do not require an SAT or an ACT for this next fall. We still encourage students to submit their test scores eventually, but upon admission, it is not a requirement in order to apply. In fact, we asked the question explicitly on the application: would you like to apply test optional? Which means, yep, I would like you to make the admissions decision without the test provided, or no, and you would like us to wait to include your SAT or ACT. Either way is fine by us. We just want to honor your wishes. And for many of you who have had to deal with this COVID pandemic over the last several months, it truly impacted the end of your junior year and beginning of your senior year. So this is kind of our effort to try to be a little more flexible with what you've had to go through. And so if you decide to apply without the test, that's great. That's completely fine. But please do consider sending it eventually. We start our scholarships with the Laker Scholarship, which is a 3.3 cumulative grade point average. Now, normally we would have a test score attached to this, but we, again, trying to be flexible, we remove that. So now it's just simply a 3.3 cumulative grade point average. That would be on a 4-point scale, and that's valued at $2,000 a year for 4 years. Now, the scholarship levels above the Laker will require an SAT or an ACT on file. So this is where it's important to still eventually send your test score, even after you're admitted, because we can still consider it for scholarships. So the next level, the Award for Excellence, would be a 3.5 cumulative grade point average and either a 1240 SAT or 26 ACT, and that's valued at $5,000 a year for 4 years. These two are not stackable, so the Award for Excellence would eliminate the Laker Scholarship. That would take over the Laker Scholarship. But the Award for Excellence is combined with our next two, and that's the faculty and the presidential scholarships. These are the awards of distinction scholarships at Grand Valley, which just simply means that in addition to qualifying, you also need to attend one of our 4 scholarship competitions. So all those who qualify, 3.6 GPA with either a 1370 SAT or 30 ACT for the faculty recipients, 3.8 GPA and a 1430 SAT or a 32 ACT for the presidential recipients. These students are invited to attend the competition. As long as they choose and attend one of those 4 competitions, then they're guaranteed between that range of money, $1,000 to $3,000 for the faculty, $4,000 to $7,000 for the presidential, and that is added on top of the $5,000 award for excellence. Let me talk a little bit about the scholarship competition. Normally, the 4 of them are wrapped up by the end of January. So we always start with 1 in the end of November and then 3 in January. We took our last January test competition date and we moved it to April. All 4 of them are going to be virtual competitions, and all that's required is you to jump on and be a part of that virtual competition. So as long as you do and you send your information to us by April and you can qualify for these scholarships based on new information, then you are then eligible for it. So in other words, you're admitted by December 31st. You can still send us updated information after December 31st. And for the faculty and presidential scholarship, you do need to get that information to us by April so we can still get you invited to the competition. For the Laker or the Award for Excellence Scholarship, which does not require additional information like a competition, then you have until July 31st to send us that information. So, but it all comes down to meeting the initial December 31st deadline. And so you have to have your application, your official high school transcript, and then that $30 application fee. But again, we're test optional. Now, for those that I know we're recording this, for those who have not applied, for the month of October, we are waiving application fees. So we will not have a $30 application fee for the month of October for students who will start and complete their application by October. But right now, the date of this taping recording is October 22nd. So we are down to our last little over a week in order to apply without having to pay the $30. So I encourage you, if you haven't applied yet, to do that as soon as possible. Otherwise, like I said, there is a $30 application fee, and then that test is up to you. But as long as you get admitted by December 31st, then you have that extra time to send updated information. And then the application process, the review process, only takes about 2 weeks from the time the completed application is received to the time you get your decision by mail. So we try to get those back as quick as possible. There are other resources available for scholarships and financial aid. We encourage students and families to complete the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. That will help determine any grants, work study, or loans that you may be eligible to receive. And then we also encourage Grand Valley students to complete some My Scholarships. That website, gvsu.edu/My Scholarships, that is a database of nearly 500 different endowed and departmental scholarships we offer at Grand Valley. And so anyone can access that. But once you are admitted to Grand Valley and then go to that site, now you can create a profile. And from that profile, it will actually filter your list from 500 or so down to the ones that you're truly potentially eligible for. So instead of looking up 500, you might be looking at 8 to 10, and then you apply for the ones that you want. So it's a much easier task of searching for scholarships, because it does a lot of the searching for you, which is really nice. So scholarships, financial aid, these are all incentives to completing your application early. The other incentive would be our housing. We offer several different housing options to incoming freshmen, starting with the traditional style living center. Traditional style is similar to most college dorms. You and a roommate share a room, and then there is a community bathroom down the hall. Our community bathrooms are still very private. So when you walk in, there's a set of stalls, sinks, and mirrors on one side, and then a series of doors on the other. Each door leads into an individual bathroom with a shower, mirror, sink, and toilet you can lock behind you. So like having a private bathroom, it's just down the hall. It's also cleaned every day by a custodian, which is kind of nice. Cluster style is another form of traditional. It's slightly different though. Instead of an entire floor sharing, what they do is we cluster about 6 or 7 rooms near one another, and they will share a semi-private community bathroom that's cleaned daily. So we have clusters of that throughout the building. Cluster option is also our newest option at Grand Valley. So there are some unique amenities with the cluster style. It is the only living center on campus for freshmen that is fully air conditioned. And it's the only living center on campus that has a dining facility inside. Einstein's Brothers Bagels is located on the first floor of that style. We have approximately 24 different dining concepts strategically placed around campus. Einstein's just happens to be located in that living center. Suite style would be 2 rooms with a bathroom in the middle. So two students share one room, 2 students share another room. The 4 of them share the bathroom that connects the 2 rooms. And then apartment style living center comes in a 1-bedroom option and a 2-bedroom option. 1-bedroom option would be an open floor plan for 2 students to share. There's a kitchenette and a bathroom included. And then the 2-bedroom option would be 2 separate individual small bedrooms for each student to have their own space. And then they share a kitchenette and a bathroom. So once again, all of those styles, traditional, cluster, suite, apartment style 1-bedroom, apartment style 2-bedroom, are exclusively available to incoming freshmen on a first come, first served basis. So the sooner you apply for housing, the more likely you'll get the style that you want. You can't apply for housing until you've been admitted to Grand Valley. So step 1 is to get admitted to Grand Valley. Step 2 would be to apply for housing. And then it's a $150 deposit to secure your housing, but that is fully refundable up until May 1. So you have all the way until May 1 of your senior year to cancel and get your money back. So you're not out anything doing it early. You're just giving yourself a better chance to get the style that you prefer. There is one more option on the slide, and that's our living learning communities. A living learning community is essentially an apartment on campus, typically a full-size apartment. So you have 2 and 4 bedrooms. Each student has their own bedroom, full-size kitchen, full-size living room, 1 bathroom for the 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms for the 4. And then that's the living side. Now the learning part of that is that it's reserved for specific interest areas. So a few of the examples include the Movement Science House. Students interested in athletic training, physical education, or exercise science can elect to choose that style. We have the International House. Students interested in international relations, political science, international business, want to study foreign language, want to study abroad, want to live in an international community. We house many of our international students there. We have the Y Center for women in science, engineering, and math majors. And then probably most popular of our living learning communities is our Frederik Meijer Honors College. The Honors College is an alternative general education curriculum. So I spoke a little while back about our general education curriculum that makes up that overall liberal education foundation. Our honor students fulfill their general education courses in a little bit different format. The classes tend to be more in a sequence style. So they'll choose a sequence, and then that sequence might have 2 classes that you take consecutively, 1 each semester for a year. Or you might take a sequence that has 4 classes consecutively, 1 each semester for 4 semesters. It just kind of depends on how the sequence is set up. So it really creates a cohort experience because you're choosing a sequence with your classmates. Those same classmates are going to be taking the same classes together. So you're kind of going through those classes together. So they tend to be more integrative. So topic focus and multiple topics over those sequences versus just one course here, one course here, one course here, one course here. The class sizes are smaller. They cap their classes at 25. The average is 19. And then they have a team teaching philosophy where they have 2 professors team teaching most honors classes. So you'll literally have 2 professors in the classroom at the same time, tag team teaching most of their sections. So they're bringing very unique experiences, different perspectives to the classroom discussion. So it really creates a kind of a cool experience there. Students do have to apply separately to the Honors College. What they do is they submit 2 writing samples. One is a research or analytical paper from high school, so something you'd have already written. And the other one is an essay that you're prompted to write. So from those 2 writing samples, that's how they determine who gets admitted to the Honors College. Historically, students who have been admitted have around a 3.5 high school GPA and around a 1300 SAT or 28 ACT. but those are not minimum requirements and they're not guaranteed admits. Students still have to submit the 2 writing samples in order to apply. So if I can put it all into perspective for you as far as costs go, our tuition rate at Grand Valley is a block rate tuition rate where you take between 12 and 15 credits each semester and you pay the same price. So we do encourage our students to maximize what they're paying for and take 15 credits a semester. If you average 15 credits a semester, 30 credits a year, you'll reach 120 credits in 4 years. That's the minimum needed in order to graduate from Grand Valley. So you're right on track, on time, completing your degree in 4 years. If you're averaging about 15 credits a semester, ends up being about 4 to 5 classes. So for the year, you're looking at about $13,244 for the year. Room and board starts at $9,000 a year. That's our traditional style living center. It does include a full meal plan. Each style I mentioned does increase slightly per style, but not by much. The least expensive to most expensive option, which would be traditional style, to the 2-bedroom, 2-person apartment efficiency, you're looking at about a $600 increase per semester. So $1,200 more for the year. So our kind of our base rate there would be around $22,000 to attend Grand Valley. You are allowed to have a car on campus. We do require a parking permit if you do bring your car to campus, and that permit for the year is $420. So $210 a semester to park on campus as a resident living on campus. By no means is that a necessity. I can tell you that fewer than 40% of our freshmen typically bring a car. So it's by far not the majority of students, but it is a personal preference and we give you that option. Regardless of whether or not you bring a car, you are eligible to use the Rapid, which is the public bus system for Grand Rapids, for free as a Grand Valley student. And that runs every 6 to 10 minutes from the main campus in Allendale to the Grand Rapids campus locations, back and forth till midnight weeknights, 3 a.m. on the weekends. So it's very easy to get around this area without having to rely on your own vehicle. And all of the Grand Rapids rapid routes are available to Grand Valley students for free. The Laker line just happens to go between the campuses. Also, first bus stop on the Laker line is Meijer, so students can use it just for their personal needs too. But apart from that, I mean, there are no activities fees, no rec center fee, no athletic fee, no bus fee, no internet or technology fee. And when you live on campus, you get a laundry card and it's preloaded with 90 cycles. So you can wash and dry your clothes 45 times throughout the year before having to pay anything for laundry. So we try to be as inclusive as we can when it comes to cost information. Now, as students in high school, you're typically in class about 30 to 35 hours a week. I know this varies now during a worldwide pandemic, but I can tell you before COVID, it was typically about 30 to 35 hours a week that you would be in a classroom with teachers. In college, you're going to be expected to be in class around 15 hours a week with a professor. So it's very different, quite a significant shift in personal responsibility and time management, where you are determining what you're doing with your time away from class. Now, there's you're going to be studying, you're going to be preparing for exams, you're going to be writing papers, you're going to be doing some assignments, daily assignments in certain classes. So there's a lot to go around. In fact, you're going to do more time outside of class than you are in, but you're still left with plenty of time to do other things. So we offer more than 400 clubs and organizations, ranging from student government to volunteer organizations, academic clubs, sports clubs, you name it, we have it. If we don't, it takes 4 students to start one. So it's real easy to start a new club on campus. We've been very successful in athletics for 13 of the last 15 years. Grand Valley's been the #1 school in Division II sports nationwide. That does account for our 20 varsity sports. They have collectively earned 23 team national championships and well over 60 individual national championships, all since 2002. And all the home athletic events are free to students. In addition to those 20 varsity sports, we have around 50 club sports that compete nationally. They're just not under that varsity level. And then we have around 18 to 20 intramural sports, and that would be just fun competition on campus for Grand Valley students. We offer great fine arts opportunities. We have marching band, pep band, jazz band, small group ensembles, orchestra. We have vocal groups like Voices of GVSU and several other choir groups. So tons of ways to showcase your musical talents. All of those are open ensembles, so you don't have to major in music in order to participate. Same is true for theater. Although we have music and theater majors, it's not required. They have open auditions for every performance. So we encourage students, take advantage of the clubs and organizations. Get involved. If you did athletics in high school and want to continue, great. If you never did it before but want to start, great. Same is true for music and theater. It's a great time to really maximize your college experience and really grow that resume so that when you're ready to apply for your first career after graduation, or those professional schools or graduate schools, you have some things that you can highlight as part of your experience, undergraduate experience. We also offer great study abroad opportunities. I know, obviously, again, in the time of a worldwide pandemic, it's a little bit more difficult. A lot of things like this are on hold, but hopefully once we get to the other side of that pandemic, and we can start reestablishing our study abroad experiences, we have so many to offer. We have about 50 partnerships around the world that are associated with Grand Valley, but we have a really unique study abroad experience. We do not limit you to the 50 partnerships that are established through Grand Valley. So there are more than 4,000 worldwide study abroad programs, and we can work with you to find the best fit for your interest. Even if it's not connected to your major, plenty of your general education courses can be satisfied by studying abroad. You can go for 2 to 6 weeks in the summer. You can do a full semester abroad. There are full year abroad programs. Either way, we can work with you to find the best fit. I mentioned the undergraduate research opportunities earlier. The Office of Undergraduate Research and Scholarship can be found on that website, gvsu.edu/OURS. There's the study abroad information, and then internships are just one small component of the overall experiential learning opportunities. So internships, co-ops, clinical rotations, student teaching and fieldwork experiences really account for more than 8,000 students a year are doing some form of practical experience. So it's widely supported and widely encouraged as part of your co-curricular experiences. Just to reiterate some of our important dates and deadlines, the fall is always a great time to apply. So, and again, with October being free, this is even extra important and great to apply with or without the test score. But either way, you want to be admitted by December 31st so that you have until July 31st to send us updated information for scholarship consideration. FAFSA is now available, so that begins every year in October, early October. January, we start sending out award letters, so you can be notified about halfway through your senior year what you may be eligible to receive in financial aid, at least initially. Certainly scholarships can be added to that. February 15th and March 1 respectively are the My Scholarships deadlines. March 1 for FAFSA, and then May 1 for housing and orientation. My contact information is on this final slide. My email, my phone number. We do have, if I can share just a short plug for you, next Thursday, October 29th, we have our final virtual Laker Experience Day. It's essentially a 1-hour live webinar hosted by a few different presenters across the campus community. So they will share information about their respective interests, admissions, financial aid, scholarships, housing, and a few other topics. So it's a great event to attend if you can. And you can find that at gvsu.edu/admission/experience day. But also tied to that would be breakout sessions. And we're having several virtual breakout sessions in the month of October and in the month of November. Also, you can find on that site. And those will be breakout sessions based on different interest areas. So health professions, nursing, business, they're all doing their own separate breakout sessions, virtual breakout sessions. So I invite you to check that out and sign up for one if you can attend. The website to apply, gvsu.edu/apply, will take you right to the important steps to applying for admission. But this concludes my presentation for you about Grand Valley. I am happy to open up the floor to questions.
Mike, you did such a great job. I had all these questions written down and you covered so many of them.
Oh, good.
So
Good.
I appreciate that so much. I'm just wondering about the ticket price to make it clear for our families who may be sending a first generation student. Financial aid is going to help students out with that baseline price of 22 a year for their first year, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have plenty of scholarships and grants that are awarded to students. They've done a really fantastic job of being able to bring that down. 36% of the students at Grand Valley are first generation college students. So we have a very large population, and we have a great group of people that work directly with and can work with our first generation students. Certainly everyone in admissions, everyone in financial aid, but we actually have specific programs and departments that can also help while they're attending Grand Valley to support their interests and walk alongside them.
That's so exciting. Another question that I had was about tours. So if a student is kind of figuring it out, there's not a lot of window of time for some of those scholarship deadlines, but if they've applied and they are thinking they want a tour, are you offering any face-to-face tours right now, or are they all virtual?
We are fortunate enough to offer some in-person visits right now. So what we are capable of doing is 4 group presentations a day, Monday through Saturday. We have a very large, we're fortunate enough to have a large room that normally seats 112. We are allowed to have 3 families. So they are socially distanced. People are required to wear a mask. It's indoors, but then after the presentation, 40-minute presentation with an admissions representative, then they get their own, basically their own personalized tour. We have a tour guide that joins them and walks them around campus. So absolutely. Now I will admit, because we're limited, they fill up very fast, and we're careful to release dates further than about a month or 2 out, because we just don't know what the order is going to come down as. You know, Michigan is a volatile state, and the health department has made some changes and continued some orders. So we're trying to, we are maintaining those orders and following them. But it also, unfortunately, requires that we kind of keep an eye on them and not just put them out there without knowing what's going to happen in the next 2 months. But I would encourage, I put it in the chat box, gvsu.edu/visit. There are a number of different ways to set up a visit. We're doing virtual visits every day, Monday through Saturday. We're doing certainly these high school and county visits. We are doing breakout session visits, but then, so those are all virtual. And then we have those in-person visits. And then there is an app that students can pull up on their phones if they are on campus and they want to just do it on their own with their family. It's a visit tour. And then when they're on campus, when they go to that site on the Grand Valley website, it will pull up on their phone wherever they are on campus. You can pull that up and you'll be able to see what building you're in, facts about the building, and similar to what they would get on a physical tour with a student from Grand Valley.
And for those of you who are watching on YouTube or at home, I'm going to make sure that all of those links from the chat get posted on the YouTube page as well, so you can access those after the video. So Mike, I want to say thank you so much for sharing about Grand Valley today. Sure. It was a wonderful presentation. I'm so excited for our students to have the opportunity to learn more.
Well, thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate it. And please do reach out if you have any questions down the road. I am happy to connect with you, even if it's not necessarily a Grand Valley question. Like I said, I've worked in the industry for a while. I'm happy to share some of my thoughts and answers to your question. If I don't know the answer, I'll certainly find it for you. So I'm happy to do that for you.